but also around the world who have joined us today. And I would like to warmly welcome you all today. I'm also pleased that we have Councillor Satvir Kaur from Southampton City Council and Katrina Lorigio, the Mayflower 400 Anniversary Director, who will both speak a few words this afternoon. Belonging is a project that was created by Art Asia and commissioned by Southampton City Council for the 400th anniversary of the Mayflower story. The first draft of the concept started in 2019. At that stage, Belonging was to be a dance project with the initial aim to be presented at the Art Asia's Mela Festival in 2020. In March 2020, as the global pandemic of COVID-19 reached a critical stage in the UK, the project was hugely impacted and the artistic team had to rethink how best to engage with an audience and deliver the essence of the project. It moved to a fully remote and virtual working format and reshaped to fulfill the unprecedented circumstances. Belonging became a multidisciplinary project. It became to include crafts, music, and creative writing, in which communities and individuals, predominantly from Southampton, were invited to take part in a virtual workshop led by a specialized artist. Belonging in Art Asia's interpretation of the epic Mayflower story, it is the retelling of stories of individuals and communities who have made Southampton their home and a place where they feel they belong. Belonging is underpinned by the inquiry into the idea of belonging. What does it mean to belong? How do you make others feel they belong? When do you feel that you belong? And where do you belong? Why do you need to belong? Do some people belong more than others? Over the months, intergenerational participants from Southampton and beyond have enthusiastically engaged with Art Asia's virtual multiform workshops to mull over these pertinent questions. Participants were encouraged to draw on their own recent experience of being locked down at home during the pandemic to relate to the emotional journeys of the travelers. In response to the workshops, participants have contributed their thought-provoking values, hopes, memories, aspirations, emotions, culture, traditions, and many more to the making of this home, a site of belonging. These have been captured in the form of song, words, poem, craft, color, and sound into a multi-sensory and immersive art installation, the site of belonging. All this would not have been possible without the amazing artistic team led by Vidya Tirunarayan, who is also present today, the creative director of the project. Kath Bristow, our visual artist, who translated everyone's images into the beautiful installation. Dr. Pooja Angra, our musical lead, who created a new musical piece along with a brother Karan Rana for people to engage with, and writer Shushmita Bhattacharya, who led the storytelling workshops. The theme, the tabla music, was played by Ustad Sanju Sahai. The artistic team showed patience, perseverance, and commitment more than anyone could have imagined, and I'm grateful to them. I'm also grateful to our coordinators, two very young coordinators, Sam and Marta, who came along to the project towards the tail end, but who managed to do a wonderful job. The fact that we received more than 1,000 contributions from people in Southampton and beyond is a testament to their dedication. From schools to community groups and individuals from the ages of 4 to 80 plus, and all from all around the world, the boats kept on coming, the stories kept on coming, and the images kept on coming. The engagement of people with the project exceeded our expectation, and on behalf of Art Asia, I would like to thank everyone for their contribution. Finally, I would like to thank Southampton City Council, who commissioned the project, and in particular Kat, for her faith in Art Asia in delivering such a massive community project, and the Mayflower 400 team, particularly Emmeline Hickman and Louise Birchall, for their always smiling support for every query that I had, no matter how silly it was. To all my friends, to all my colleagues, to all our funders, and to everyone today, a big thank you for joining us. Now I'd like to invite our Mayflower Anniversary Director, Kat, to speak a few words.
Thank you so much, Dahlia. And a big thank yous and congratulations to you, lady, because you really poured off a corker. I can remember very early in May, we were all just going, we can't do it. We can't do it. And yet, you know, many different incarnations later, we came up with the most fabulous piece. And we managed to get it on just in the nick of time. And it was against all odds. You pulled off a fantastic thing. And what was amazing about working with you all was that we had this huge group of women, and there's like 10 of us altogether. There's 7 of you and the 3 of us, and pulled off a most fantastic piece. And I think there's something really unique in the project, in that, and these really tenacious, robust, resilient and talented ladies really pulled together something fantastic. So thank you all of you. I'm not going to name you all again. I have got a list with all your names, but Dahlia's already got it. So, but Dahlia, you've been amazing throughout all of Art Asia's history, and I know it's a big anniversary year this year for Art Asia, and all credit to you for keeping that going and all your work through doing that. What I loved about Belonging, and not least because we managed to make it happen. There were many meetings where we thought something might not happen, and then it come back even feistier. It was actually, for me, it's the real epitome of what we wanted the Mayflower 400 to be about. For us, we decided the anniversary was a moment to celebrate Southampton as a city, but all the different communities that make up Southampton, and Southampton is a place of migration and journeys. And none of our projects quite tell the story of that like Belonging has done, and all the thousands of contributions you've had have really helped towards that. But it really encapsulates what we really wanted to achieve, which was, you know, showing all those hidden histories and all those hidden stories within Southampton. And you did a fantastic job of bringing those to life in the most beautiful and creative and colourful way. It was really wonderful to turn up in what was a very sad, empty shop and see this most stunning installation. And yeah, thanks to Louise and Emmeline and all of the our supporters at Westquay for enabling that to happen, really. Mayflower 100 is still going. We're still hoping to pull some more shows out of the bag, and there's certainly lots more online activity. I can see other Mayflower, Iona, our fantastic poet who's joined us on other projects, and Chishmita and Pooja are supporting other projects. So please do keep an eye on our website, mayflower400southampton.co.uk, because there is more work to come, and you'll see more of this fantastic talent that you're about to see this afternoon being showcased again in that. So thank you to everyone at Art Asia, thank you to everyone at the team of Belonging, thank you to all the Mayflower 400 supporters, and I'm really well done for putting something amazing off in what has been a really very difficult year. And you really have brought some colour and some brightness and some joy to some very dark days. So thank you all for that.
Thanks a lot, Kat. It has been an absolute pleasure for Art Asia and all of us to work with you and your amazing team, the whole Mayflower 400 team. It has been a real pleasure, and thank you for all your support throughout the project. Thank you so much. Moving along the program, I would now like to play the Belonging installation video. Before that, I would like to tell you briefly about the art installation. So this multi-art installation took place at the Westquay, Southampton last year in December. Thanks to Kat Bristow for putting up the installation. Hundreds of visitors visited this immersive art installation, which was made up of the contributions received from the communities of Southampton and beyond. So bear with me for 1 minute while I share my screen to play the video for you. sorry, I forgot to unmute myself. Well, that was the video for the belonging installation. I hope you have enjoyed it. And we would like to thank the videographer, Robin Waldman, for capturing all the wonderful moments from the installation. Moving along, I would now like to call Sushmita Bhattacharya, the creative lead in writing, and my co-host for today's event. If you can invite the readers to share their writing, Sushmita, welcome.
Thank you, Pooja. I just wanted to say a little bit before I start introducing our wonderful readers to you that what was the thinking behind our storytelling and poems. We looked at food, festivals, and recipes as a way of connecting and belonging, exploring the concept of belonging. And I'm really proud to share and showcase some of our contributors' work with you. I would like to begin with Vidya Thirunarayan and a little bit about her. She is a performer in the Indian classical dance style Bharatnatyam and has been a dance artist for the past 25 years. Somewhere along the way, she started playing with clay. Initially as a relaxation from dance, it has now become an integral part of her lifestyle. She has a ceramic studio where much play happens, integrating performing arts, craft, and education. So over to Vidya.
Thank you, Sushmita. And what can I say? I'm absolutely delighted to be here with all of you. It seems to be a very befitting way to celebrate the belonging family of creators, contributors, participants. And just watching that film, just a rush of emotions went through, and the whole journey of the whole year went through my head. And what can I say? Definitely, it was absolutely worth all the ups and downs and the mountains that we have climbed. And for today, what I thought I could do was, as most of you would have, I'm sure all of you would have watched the introductory film that I had to create for the project. And the starting point for that was for me to identify objects that evoked a sense of belonging for me. And I used those objects in the film, and objects that tell their own story of warmth, family, and joyous play. So I picked up about, I think, 6 objects and wrote about them. And those objects actually feature in the film as well. So I'll read out a few of the bits and pieces I've written. So the first object was the Kanchipuram sari. The temple city of Kanchipuram in Tamil Nadu is also known for its rich silk. The vibrant Kanchipuram silks are woven mixed with pure silver threads and coated with gold. These are heavy silks with a signature luster and smooth finish. The entire process of crafting a traditional Kanchipuram sari takes about 6 days. These saris are timeless and get passed on through the generations. All family celebrations, however small or big, always feature bustling women in colorful Kanchipuram saris, fragrant jasmine flowers on their well-braided hair, and sparkling gold jewelry. This is home for me. The second object that I chose was Tata's diary. When my daughter was born, her Tata or granddad started writing a diary, a page every day. He filled the pages with all that he wanted to share with his firstborn grandchild, the wonders of the world, magnificent myths and stories, the importance of curiosity in life, ineffable values, how he met with the revered Dalai Lama, his fossil and stamp collection, which he hoped she would appreciate one day, and so on. It covered pages of aspirations for this child. He wrote every day for a whole year and offered it to her on her first birthday. And that's that diary. that he wrote every day for her. And the next object is the kolam. Every day, millions of Tamil women in southern India wake up before dawn to create a kolam, an ephemeral ritual design made with rice flour on the threshold of their homes. Created by hand with great skill, artistry, and mathematical precision, the columns disappear in a few hours, borne away by the passing footsteps and the hungry insects. Seeing my love for kolam, Anandi Pati, my teacher, gifted me a beautifully crafted book that had all the columns her mother had collected and created during her lifetime. I still treasure it. And that was that book, a book of columns. I think it's difficult to see the inside, but there we go. I will read one more of my writings. Okay. Pallankuri, that's a Tamil word. This is a traditional game I first learned to play at my great-grandmother's house in Madras. I loved the tactile feel and delicate sound of the cowrie shells as they fell into the little pits within the wooden box. Even now, I don't know the exact rules of the game, but who cares? The cowrie shells still feel and sound delightful, and opening the box to reveal them is still magical. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Vidya. That was really beautiful. And it was lovely to see all the things that inspired you to, come up with the concept for belonging. And then we've taken it further. And there are so many other beautiful outcomes from those pieces. Very emotional, I think, those very personal pieces that you had. So thank you for sharing them with us. I'd love to welcome 14-year-old Iona Mondol from Birmingham. She is a member of the prestigious Mensa Society since the age of 11. She was the Birmingham Young Poet Laureate finalist in 2018 and one of the 100 Foyle Young Poets for 2020. Two of her poems were illustrated by Chris Riddle, and she adopted an endangered black baby rhino named Icarus in Kenya after winning the global poetry competition with the David Shepherd Wildlife Foundation in 2015. She has also performed her poem on peace in the House of Lords in 2015.
Hi everyone. Today I'd like to share my story titled Belonging, which is actually partly autobiographical as it follows the experience of a young girl who feels represented at school for the first time. Belonging. She sat at the back of the class, head down, pencil wedged firmly between her fingers. Her single long braid touched the back of her chair. She was happy to be here. It was time for her favorite subject, English. A seemingly unpopular choice for most students, who despised the sandstorm of words and punctuation which got trapped within their unknowing eyelids, forcing them into a dull mid-morning doze. Language analysis, poetry, Shakespeare. They hated it all. But to her, words seemed an escape. The orifice in the middle of each O, a portal to another dimension. The heavy dip in each U, an encapsulating trench. However, there was only one barrier she felt in each lesson. A tiny obstacle that seemed to hinder the maximum amount of rapture she had the potential to feel. It was the way she was unrepresented, unknown and unrecognized, equivalent to the tittle of each letter I, or the demeaning full stops that concluded each sentence. Every book she studied, each piece of text, seemed to cater specifically for people she had nothing in common with. These were mostly written by authors who, for most of the time, tried to accommodate to the majority, while leaving thousands of smaller and equally rich cultures like hers forgotten each day. Just in time, her English teacher strolled in, her brisk, high-heeled footsteps culling the last of her thoughts. In her hand, she held a navy blue lever arch folder, along with 30 photocopies of the book extract the girls were to study today, in preparation for their GCSE English language exam. Swiftly greeting the class and introducing the lesson, she asked one of the girls to hand out the extracts, which she did quickly. Suddenly, a half-creased paper slapped on the desk in front of her, with a two-worded title like a claw, grasping her attention. Brick Lane, Monica Ali. Brick Lane in East London, home to a huge Bangladeshi community, bursting with Bangladeshi shops and restaurants. The place from where she had bought her first Bangla book as a child, to learn to read and write her mother tongue. She gaped in utter disbelief. All her life she had been reading extracts from books she had never identified with. And now, suddenly, she had discovered an entire book which was set in the very borough she once lived in. It all seemed too good to be true, almost as if it was a lie in front of her face. Here was a Bangladeshi British woman who had a story to tell. With more vigor than ever before, she highlighted each language device, each metaphor, juxtaposition, and pathetic fallacy. She raised her hand for each question, spewing words from her own experiences, the ink from her pen flowing with more fluidity this time. Never in her life had she felt so recognized, eyes glinting as she read the contextual terminology, gazed at the curlicues of her mother tongue plastered on the whiteboard. She remembered the stories she had heard. Stories of colonizers invading her motherland, picking and choosing elements of her culture which they liked best. But when it came to her own family moving here, they'd felt utterly mismatched. The nation's favorite food may be the chicken tikka masala, but back in the late 90s, when her mother had crossed the road wearing a sari and bindi, she had been insulted to her face. Of course, things had got better, prejudice getting less noticeable by the day. But she'd never felt like she truly belonged. The other girls in her class had grown up watching TV shows that casted characters they could relate to. Those who ate the same food as them, wore the same clothes, and spoke the same language. The only characters that she had ever related to were merely stereotypes, mimicking and subtly mocking her culture rather than appreciating it. Those made primarily for white audiences, by white people, for white people to make fun of. As the lesson ended, a new vault within her had been unsealed. The words which she had been saying inside her head for so many years had finally been unclouded, as if to materialize in the mist. It was like hearing a voice, not being able to decipher what it meant, and suddenly, almost magic-like, mustering the courage to take it in the open. The bell rang, signaling the end of period 1. It was the start of recess. Her English teacher seemed impatient to leave, hurriedly gathering her papers and shoving them into her folder as they spilled out over the edge. She felt the moment had arrived. She had to say what she had been yearning to for so long for the world to hear. Everyone in class knew her as the reticent, introspective one, but now she would make herself heard. And so she spoke. Miss, sorry to stop you, but I just had something to say. Thank you for including a more culturally diverse book in the English curriculum. Nothing in the entire world makes me happier than seeing my own culture recognized. I have spent all my life feeling ashamed, but today I feel represented. For those who may think that studying these books is futile, always remember the solitary girl in class will feel heard from the words you read off the page. Just a while before, my British friend sitting next to me told me how she wished she knew how to speak another language. It makes my heart swell in pride that I've managed to make the tables turn. I hope that in the future, more cultures will be recognized and represented. In a way, I feel selfish to be complaining when so many other regions in this world are starving from underrepresentation. Please continue to do what you are doing, miss, for this is right. Each person deserves a place in this country, a place to belong. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Iona. That was really very moving. And I'm so glad that you managed to share your words, because that is something that you've spoken on behalf of many, many people here in this country. And I can say for my girls who are young and impressionable and they are growing up in this country, what you have just said just makes so much sense. And I can feel what they, feel growing up in this country. So thank you for that. And I'd like to introduce Lakshmi Priya Gomatam. Lakshmi Priya is a mother of two residing in Mumbai. The last 2 years have given her the freedom to write, and she loves penning her thoughts in verse. Food is her reason d'etre, and so belonging could only be symbolized with food and the comforting memories of her aunt's home in Chennai.
Good afternoon, everyone, and namaste here from India. Let me just go with what I had to share with you. Food, the essence of home. I feel at home at breakfast, dipping the dosa in the paste, the well-fried browned sambar onions, crisped with dark badge chili to spice its sweet taste. I've asked Chemma for the recipe a million times, but maybe I've never wanted to learn, because it's a taste I revisit of being home and breakfast I yearn. And the otherwise forgotten uli chamandi, always a salve for my hungry soul. I remember those little pink onions fried with rice and fed to me when I delivered my doll. Always heartwarming to savor. Even the thought brings up a smile. The happy chatter at the breakfast table, the memory of the punch transcending many a mile. Thank you.
Thank you, Priya. I could almost taste all those wonderful ingredients that you mentioned there. And I think next time I visit you, you need to cook that for me.
Will do.
Thank you. We have 7-year-old Abhya Yadav. Next, Abhya is from Staines upon Thames. Her hobbies are acting, drawing, singing, and dancing. She is a level 5 in swimming and plays cricket at the Sunbury Cricket Club. And she will soon be doing her grade 2 piano exam. Over to you, Abhya.
Hello everyone, good morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you are. I am from the UK and I'm going to recite my poem on my favourite food, rice pudding. Before I jump to that, I will share a few more details about myself. I am 7-year-old in year 3. I study at Staines Prep School, and some of my many hobbies are swimming, dancing, singing, and piano. Now I will start with my poem. My mummy makes the most tremendous dish, which is rice pudding. It always makes my mouth water too much. I always ask for more and more because I do not get it often. On Diwali, when the fireworks go boom, bang, I eat the scrumptious white keys with my friends. Afterwards, we play with the sparklers. It is amazing. It is always the best time of year. You all have to remember to try the sweet keys with your family. The soft rice in creamy saffron milk is an absolute indulgence. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you, Abhya. That was lovely. That was really beautiful. And I want to now make this rice pudding. So thank you for reminding me. And it was absolutely delightful. Moving on from Abhya, we have Madeline Oben. And Madeline, working as an editor, her relationship with writing lies mainly in helping others to craft language and express their ideas. Recently, she's been writing for herself, supported hugely by the Artful Scribe projects So Write Women and Writing for Wellbeing. And this year, she started writing poetry for the first time since she was at school. She loves gardening, so examining nature through writing is a particular joy. She lives in Southampton now, but having lived one half of her life in Sussex and Hampshire and the other in Yorkshire, her roots extend north and south.
Thank you very much, Sushmita, and it's absolutely lovely to be here and to hear so much beautiful reading. I'm amazed and awe-inspired. My poem is called A Taste of Home. I lift out the worn old dish, for too long left lonely in the cupboard, and recalling a recipe followed 1,000 times, I begin to chop vegetables, onions, aubergines, sweet potatoes, peppers. I bathe their rich red and purple hues in olive oil, add a handful of chickpeas, stir in smoked paprika, just a pinch. Powdered vermilion stains my fingers, falls silently, softly into the dish. I breathe in the scent, enjoy its warmth as it mingles with the lemon zing of thyme and takes me back to bonfires in the woods at home. I add a sprig of mint fresh from the garden, dip my spoon, stir again, close my eyes and dream of the lives I have lived, the children I have raised. I place the dish in the oven, wait for the heat to rise, and as colours and tastes collide, I savour the anticipation of loved ones returning to a favourite meal shared. Thank you.
Thank you, Madeline. That was very heartwarming as well. Thank you for your lovely words. And next we have Esther Spiller. Esther is originally from South Africa and currently residing in Southampton. She's very lucky to have a very creative day job. She's a biscuiteer. She makes biscuits with royal ice cream icing artwork on them. Her other love is writing. She tried to write a poem in her first language and then in English, while trying to keep the same feeling and cadence. She says it was interesting how writing the poem in two different languages evoked different emotions in her.
Hi, thank you so much for letting me be part of this amazing project. When I started writing the poem, it started off with, when I first moved here, I sometimes didn't want to speak because I sound different to other people. So although I'm white, people would always ask me, where are you from? And it was, a very awkward feeling. So I thought that it would be, when the Belonging Project came up, I wanted to write something about that. The title is Can I Stay a While? I am the always outsider, off-kilter addition to a coherent unit. My uniform never fits. I don't know the in-jokes or songs from youthful commercials. Home is always slightly out of reach. When my skin is different, my language is the same. When my skin is the same, my language is different. Yet I find belonging in small gestures and kind words, in a joke and a jest, in fragmented moments forgetting I'm not from here. Yet I do belong to that little tick box, other, to the watchful few, always listening for the startling sound of their own language, to the unit of itchy feet, longing for the next place to go. I've always been the stranger, allowed to come in from the cold, to sit by the fire.
Thank you, Esther. I think the line that really touched me was home is just out of reach. I mean, it's there, but it's just out of reach. That was so beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
And after that, we have 7-year-old Ansh Jawar, who is from Bournemouth. He loves reading and playing cricket. He knows how to read, to write and speak Hindi, and is currently learning to read it as well. He knows the Hanuman Chalisa and the Indian national anthem by heart. Over to you, Ansh.
Hello, my name is Ansh. I'm 7-year-old and I'm from Bournemouth. I'm currently in year 3. Thank you, Susmita. My favorite food is palak paneer. Palak means spinach and paneer means Indian cheese. Palak means spinach, which is full of iron. Paneer is Indian cheese you raw and eat like a lion. Soft, squidgy and square, paneer floats light as air. Ginger and garlic sizzles in the oil. It is cooked when it gets a boil. Popeye the sailor got his strength from it. Never run, never rush to eat, but relax and sit.
Thank you. Thanks, Ansh. And you have described the cooking of that palak paneer so well. I think I'm going to ask you to cook it for me now. I'm sure you'll do a great job. But having said that, let me introduce Ansh's mum, Poonam Paranjpe, and I know that she is an amazing cook. She is a special education needs practitioner with years of experience working in the mental health field. Her hobbies are cooking, dancing, singing, reading, and during the first lockdown, she started her cooking channel Senses on YouTube.
Hello everyone, thank you so much Susmita ji. This is such a good platform, and to see everyone, you all are so inspiring. My god, amazing. So I've written few lines, but I beg your pardon because some of them are going to be in Hindi. So here it goes. Obviously I'm a complete food lover, grown up back home in India, and so I've written few lines. आदाब लखनऊ से जिसकी मैं बनी दीवानी. Lucknow is back home, a place in Uttar Pradesh. So Adab Lucknow se jiski main bani diwani, got married and fell in love with the food and my honey. Aromatic, sizzling, wholesome kebabs and biryani, tender, smooth, various chutneys. It's a blessing if you haven't ate it or eaten it, as it is all so worthy the money. मुझे भी है दो माएँ मिली ऐसी, who are ace in their cooking and as smooth as ghee jaisi. They taught me to enjoy food with all 5 senses. I have not just Indian, but also food from across the international fences. Thank you.
Thank you, Poonam. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. And I loved how you've used Hindi and English and really got a flavor of both countries in your poem. Thank you very much. And I'm going to now introduce Samika. So Samika Agarwal is a 12-year-old student from Bombay Scottish School, which was my school as well, in Mumbai. She has a passion for writing and writes mainly poems, mostly in the fantasy theme, but from time to time she writes some realistic poems as well.
Thank you, Auntie. Hi everyone, my name is Samika and I'm from Mumbai. My poem's name is called The Icing on the Cake, and I think that's a pretty suitable title based on what the poem is. The poem is based on basically baking and cooking with my mother in the kitchen. And while we're together in the kitchen, it feels like nothing else matters, and I truly have a place and belong in the world. The icing on the cake. Our mind stores memories so sweet and builds the roads on where they meet. You start out on little tiny toes and then grow into big feet. My sweetest memory is when my mom taught me how to bake, and it all started with that simple cake. That chocolate cake changed my life, changed who I was, and opened my mind. A lot of work is put in that cake, and it definitely is not easy to make. Some parts are slow, like when it has to bake, and in some parts you have to pick up the pace. But I'd say it's worth it for the smile that comes on your face. Your nose is used to smell, your hands are used to measure, your eyes are used to see, and your mouth is used to taste this pleasure. The reason why I love cake is not because it's yummy to eat, but because with mum, when I bake, two of my most sweetest memories meet. And for me, that's the icing on the cake. Thank you.
Thanks, Samika. That was beautiful. And I could picture that cake when you were describing it. Really great.
Thank
We'll
you,
move on
Auntie.
to the last two. They are sisters. And we'll start with Sarah Al Shahab. 11-year-old Sarah is from Kuwait. And she has been playing the piano since she was 5 years old and performed in Kuwait's first online virtual musical called The Show Must Go Online. She is learning Mandarin at the moment. Sarah.
Hi, my name is Sarah, and today I'll be reading to you my belonging poem. Kuwait is where you can find my matbus, in my grandma's kitchen, to be exact. It's a cross between a risotto and a biryani to me. The weekend is here. Family gathers at noon, but no rush, my grandmother says. Slow cooked makes its most sumptuous flavor. The aroma of the cardamom and saffron fills my nose. The rice so tender and fluffy, like candy floss melting in your mouth. The chicken is so deliciously tender. Never not to forget the dakous that is served on the side, but I like mine all over my plate. Never waste the golden, nutty brown, never burnt, crunchy stuff on the bottom of the pot. Tastiest treat in the whole dish. You just couldn't wait for lunch. It takes me to Happy Town every time. It can take you there too.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. I could almost smell that amazing dish that your grandmother makes. And now we have Jenna. Jenna is Sarah's sister. She's 10 years old, also from Kuwait, and she too loves playing the piano and is learning Mandarin.
Longing by Jenna Al Shihab. Why is my stomach growling so loudly? My nose is smelling something delicious. I know what that smell is. It's mrabian, I shout to myself. It's yummy, fluffy, golden rice topped with prawns, a lot of prawns to be exact, served with a kind of spicy tomato sauce called dakous. It's so good that it goes on everything. Yes, it's 1 p.m. at my grandparents' house. I quickly dashed to the kitchen, waiting for my mrabian to be served. My grandma can't serve it quick enough. I grab my plate and spoon and start my feast.
Thank you, Jenna. That was amazing as well. I think we've all enjoyed this lunchtime of sharing thoughts about food and belonging, and it's been wonderful. So I'm going to pass it back on to Pooja for the next bit.
Thank you, Sushmita. Sushmita, would you like to take pictures for the event? If we can take the permission, and would you like to take the pictures before we move on?
Okay, great. Yeah, I can do that.
I'll remove myself from the spotlight. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, so we'd really like to, keep a memory of our wonderful gathering today, for which I would love to take a screenshot if you don't mind. And I'm also going to take a picture on my phone just in case the screenshot doesn't work. So you'll have to smile twice for me. And if you wouldn't like to be in the photo, then please turn your cameras off. And oh, and we have, let me just check because I have to scroll. There's lots of you there, but I think everyone who would like to be in the picture is here. So I'm going to take first I'll do this, and then I will take a screenshot. So keep smiling, and maybe another one for good luck. Thank you, everyone. It's wonderful to see you all finally. Yeah, so Pooja.
Thank you so much, Sushmita. We are completely mesmerized by listening to all the wonderful poems, recipes, and readings. A big round of applause to all our wonderful readers for today's event, and well done to you, Sushmita. What a lovely afternoon. Thank you so much for joining. Moving on to the music element in the Belonging Project. Before I say anything about the music, I would like to add Karan, my brother, as well as the composer of the song, to the, if I can request Sushmita to add Karan to the spotlight, and then we can talk together. Yeah, just take a minute. Yeah, can you find Karan? Hi, Karan. Yeah, I would like to introduce Karan. He is my younger brother, and he is the composer of the song Naya Rasta for the project. Welcome, Karan. I and my brother, we composed the song Naya Rasta, Sailing Towards a New Horizon. Thanks a lot, Karan, for such a wonderful composition and brilliant singing. I would like to share that Karan is IT consultant by profession, and me and Karan, we perform, we do regular concerts all across the UK. A big round of applause for Karan. We were thrilled to see the amazing response in the form of wonderful music creations. We received a lot of music entries from schools, community groups in Southampton and beyond. Participants from 3 years to 87 years, they have sent their creations in. They have sung, played, and improvised the song Naya Rasta in various languages such as Hindi, Punjabi, English, Marathi, Kannada, and they used different instruments like violin, saxophone, Hawaiian guitar, harmonium, tabla, and piano, to name a few. I will now share the video with you. This video is a compilation of all the music creations. In additions to the video recordings that we received various audio recordings as well. We created soundscapes of audio recordings, and we played them in loops in the Belonging Art installation at Westgate in Southampton last year in December. So before starting the song, I will also share the names of all the participants in the chat box. So I would like to shout out all the names, but because we are running short of time, so what I'll do is I'll quickly paste all the names in the chat box, and I would like to thank each and every one of you, and listening to all your wonderful creations has been an absolute pleasure and delight. Bear with me 1 second while I copy and paste that in the chat box. Okay. Okay. Right. Right. Okay. Yeah, I think you can see the names for all the participants of the Belonging Project who have sent their music creations. Now I will share my screen and share the wonderful video. So bear with me again for a second. Right, okay. Oops. Well, that was amazing, isn't it? I was so thrilled to see this video, and I'm sure all the participants who have contributed, you must have been amazed to see yourself in the video. And so thanks again, thanks a lot. And I can watch it again and again, but because of shortage of time, I can't play it again. But thank you so much. And I would also like to thank Billy and Ian for editing this video, and what a wonderful compilation they have created. So thank you so much. And now I would like to invite the chief guest of our event, Councillor Satvir Kaur. Satvir, if you would like to come and say something about the event, we would be very grateful. Thank you so much for taking the time and joining the event.
Hi, Pooja. Hello, everyone. Namaste. Thank you so much for inviting me today. I don't even know if I'm being completely honest, while I'm your chief guest or meant to be, there is no way I can follow all the brilliant contributions we've had today. So thank you so much. I'm truly honoured that you invited me to speak. So I'm the cabinet member for Culture and Homes in Southampton. I'm also the chair of Southampton 2025, which is the vehicle we're using to bid for City of Culture 2025. And can I just start? I won't talk for too long because I'm conscious of time, but I did want to thank Art Asia, a massive happy anniversary, a special thank you to Dahlia, Burja, you, Susmita, and the entire team. This event has all been about what brings us a sense of belonging. And if I'm being completely honest with myself, this event has absolutely given me a sense of belonging and made me feel so proud of my community, this community. I'm proud to be part of Southampton because clearly this is the amazing stories we can share, and this is what we're all about. Thank you to, what was it, over 1,000 people that contributed from all ages. I can't believe you got people from 3 years old to 80 years old. That's absolutely incredible. I mean, we can pay people hundreds of thousands of pounds and they can't usually get that kind of engagement. So also a thanks to Kat and the Mayflower team, who I know have worked extremely hard during very stressful circumstances during the pandemic. I was going to go through all of them. Do you know what? I just am. You're just going to have to hold on because they were just so incredible. So Vidya, thank you so much for sharing your story. So I grew up, my family had a sari shop. So whenever I think about saris or fabrics, it gives me a sense of belonging. So when you were sharing your story about saris, it really made me feel at home. There's actually a funny story about how I was at a fancy event and I wore a sari to it and I clearly didn't tie it properly. So Dahlia had to come round the corner with me to help me tie it again. So that is my story. Iona, your poem was just absolutely incredible. And I'm sure all of us could really relate to it and have all those stories that we have from school where you look around or you're hearing stories and you feel so unrepresented. I obviously work in politics, so I constantly feel unrepresented, and hopefully all of us today and throughout whatever we do encourage that our culture is recognized and represented. So thank you so much for sharing that. Bria, the main reason I go to India every year is because of the food. I love food so much. So thank you so much for sharing it. I don't know about anybody else, but I feel extremely hungry after this event. It's been absolutely incredible. Abia, rice pudding, well, I call it kheer, absolutely. I'm going to ring up my mum and try to get her to leave it on my doorstep now, see whether I can get away with that. Diwali is also my favourite festival. Madeline, thank you for your poem. You make cooking sound really magical. I personally don't really like cooking, but after that contribution, I might try it and make it sound really beautiful. Esther, we were told that you're a biscuit maker, which automatically makes you my new best friend. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And I think you're so right. I think especially when you come from different cultures, sometimes you don't feel like you belong anywhere. But I really valued your contribution about how there's little parts or little memories that really give you that sense of belonging. So thank you so much for sharing that. Anush, Balak Benin, one of my favourites. I'm definitely coming to yours and your mum's house. I cannot wait. Burja, thank you. Oh no, Bornham, sorry. Thank you so much for your contribution. I think you're absolutely right, that you should be able to enjoy food. And I think that's the joy of being Indian, to enjoy food with all 5 senses. And I definitely got that feel from your poem. And then Samika, cooking with your mom, it got me a little bit emotional actually, because I used to cook with my dad all the time and sadly he's not here, so I was trying to hold back the tears, but that's such a beautiful memory and I'm sure you cooking or baking with your mom will last you a lifetime. Sarah and Jenna, I also want an invite one round your grandparents' house because that food sounds absolutely incredible. So just overall, thank you so much. The music, that's one of my favorite pieces of music that was played at the end, and I just thought everyone that contributed did such an incredible job and did you and your family so proud. And at a time when I suppose, well, the UK definitely is in lockdown, when you feel so far away and distant from everyone. This event and this project has really brought us closer together, and it's definitely inspired me and made me extremely proud. And if City of Culture is about anything in Southampton, it's about how we tell our story. And for me, Southampton's story is intrinsically linked with our story of diversity and all of your stories. And actually, we are the brilliant, great, diverse, modern, resourceful, vibrant, dynamic city because of our diversity and because of people like you, rather than in spite of it. So thank you so much, and keep on being very, very brilliant, and making people like me so proud to come from our community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Satwir. That was lovely. Thank you so much for summarizing the whole event. Actually, it has been a pleasure to see you virtually, though, and we hope we can see each other soon. Thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule, and it has been a big round of applause for Councillor Satwir Kaur, everyone.
Next time when we all meet, can people bring their own food as well?
Yeah, why not?
Done. I'm there.
Especially the palak paneer.
Yes.
Ansh can bring that. Right, Ansh and Poonam. Right. Before we all leave, I would really like to thank the Mayflower 400 team, Southampton City Council, all the belonging participants, all the readers, and all the people who have sent the beautiful images which has been compiled together by Kat Bristow, and thank you so much to the audience who have taken your time out of your busy schedule to join us in our celebration event. I have shared in chat box the survey form about if you have attended any of the Mayflower 400 event. So please do spare a few minutes and fill that form. And if you would like me to email it to you, my email is education@artasia.org.uk. We would also be sharing the survey form on Art Asia's website. So you can visit Art Asia's website, www.artasia.org.uk. That's it for today. Before you all go, I will unmute all of you, and so that we can hear a big round of applause from all of you. You can clap or wave or do whatever you like, and you are more than welcome to leave the meeting whenever you like. And a very, very big thank you from Art Asia to all of you. I'll quickly unmute. How do I do that? Yeah, I think
you have to unmute it yourself.
Yeah, I know. I need to ask all of them, isn't it?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pooja. Amazing. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I'll just leave the meeting in the minute. So thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, Pooja.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Pooja.
Thank you. I'll end the meeting now. Thank you.
Thank you.